Hello. Oh my gosh, you guys are here already. This is so fun. Welcome. It's December. December the 1st. Hooray! Am I the only one that's excited? You know what? You have to start. First of all, welcome to everybody that's here. Tell me where you are. Kelsey, first comment, of course. She's here from BC, Canada's windy and rainy south coast. Yes, she's near Delta, where the only Krispy Kreme in BC is. Yes, everyone. Yes, it's December. Hooray! But I want to say a special shout out to one of my very favorite people in the world, one of my very best friends, and that is Colette, my amazing, amazing sister-in-law. Oh, I missed those chats. Yes, I love her so much. She is one of my favorite people. She is so smart, so wise. So I want to give her a shout out. She has now joined us in the 40s for those of us that are in our 40s. And I told her, I think it's actually the best decade, personally. And I actually took it harder going into my 30s than I did going into my 40s. So, and actually, I really like being in my 40s. So, everyone, please wish Colette a happy, happy birthday. She's just so wonderful. And if you were in our Facebook group, you'll see she's our wonderful moderator a lot of the time. So, hello, and Minty Fresh, first time to comment. Well, hello, and you're here from New Jersey. That's great. Stella from Michigan. Susie from the Hebrides, you changed your name on it, Susie. And Kelsey, yes, you are here. And Colette, she is amazing. I love her. I wish she lives in Calgary, so I don't get to see her that much, but I plan on going out and visiting them soon. I have not been off of Vancouver Island since 6 months before COVID started. I've been on the island for 2.5 years. Happy December 1st. Yeah, woohoo, bring it on. It's a weird, balmy 8 degrees in Kamloops. Yeah, it is. It's been like 10 degrees here on Vancouver Island. I'm sure it's about the same over there in the LMD, Kelsey. But yeah, thank you for saying happy birthday to Colette. Hooray! She is the best. She can't make the live streams on Wednesdays because she's working, but that's okay. Yeah, so everybody, I'm so happy. It is December. I've got to get the advent calendars out. I make it, I buy them at Costco like as soon as they come up, pretty much like September, October. Renee here from Eugene, Oregon. Cool. Edith, you're here from Atlanta. I love Atlanta. One of my favorite podcasts is based there. Stuff you should know. Actually, a few of those ones are. Yeah, 10 or 11 degrees, even at 9 p.m. I know, it was so warm. Our bedroom, my husband, we have a wood fireplace. I love it, but he really loves it. And he got it to 28 degrees Celsius in our house last night. And I always say to him, like, max 26, max 26. Come on. And it's so hot. And so we had the windows open. It did hardly anything. Miriam, you're here from Germany. Cool. Woohoo. Oh, and Colleen is here from Carameus again. I always say how much I love Carameus, and I do. I really need to drive that southern route again. I always end up just going Highway 1 now because my parents don't live in the Kootenays anymore. Maria, you're here from Wisconsin. So, so cool. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. All you guys are here, and it is so fun. Well, you know what? Let's get into a little chats. 63 and sunshine here in Mississippi. I don't know what that is. Susie, it's -2. I don't know what 63 is in Celsius. I'm assuming it's like 6 degrees Celsius. I don't know. And Susie says it's -2 in a nasty northeasterly wind. So Susie, in our Simplified Christmas Advent Challenge group, Susie's a part of it. Kelsey's a part of it. A few other people here are as well. I think Allison is. Oh, and Christine, of course, you're here from Waterloo. She's a part of it too. And she is, and so Susie is in the Hebrides, and I snuck a look out of your window when you posted that one video, and I was just said to my husband, "Look at the view." He's got Scottish heritage, so he loves all of that stuff. And Kelsey says she thinks that 63 is about 15 degrees. And Barbara doesn't want to share what it is in San Diego because she knows those of us with winter are like, 2 degrees in Ontario. Yeah, that is that's Ontario for you. I know, even in BC, I think like we can be kind of jerks sometimes because we're like, well, it's so nice in BC to the rest of Canada. So, well, not even BC, but like the coast. So, yes, and Tracy's here from Peterborough. Woohoo! Ontario, very cool. Oh, yes, and you told me you were going to come today, right? That's super cool. Yeah, so everybody, I just really want to take a moment to welcome December. I love December. I know not everybody does. And so I thought today we could really talk about how to protect your energy during the holidays. Oh my gosh, and nobody even told me what drink they have. Today I have pumpkin chai because you know it's my favorite. So I thought it's really important to talk about protecting your energy during the holidays because a lot of us don't even realize that um, it's so important that you have a good Christmas too. And a lot of us don't even realize that. We plan too much, there are too many events, too much decor, too many colors. And you don't even realize that this Christmas is your holiday too. And so we honestly don't even appreciate the fact that we have to live only a certain amount of Christmases, only a certain amount of holidays, and we should be enjoying it too. And we try so hard to make it good for everyone, but we honestly don't take ourselves into account a lot of the time. And I really think that we need to do more of that. And so that is where I have a video coming up on the 6th, and you are going to be like, oh, it might just be a little bit controversial, maybe not. But yeah, I think that it's very important to be very careful with your plans. Be very careful with what you are saying yes to. And I did a video this morning in our Simplified Christmas Advent Challenge, and you guys, you're welcome to join it because there will be a new short video every day. But it is you know, you want to be sure that a lot of people, they have the FOMO, the fear of missing out. And I am telling you, there is no um to me, there's no greater joy sometimes than having the JOMO, the joy of missing out. I love not going to things. And I remember, like when I was young in particular, I hated not going to things. I wanted to be at it all. And now I'm honestly like, isn't it nice if I can stay home and just have some like time to myself, some quiet time, especially when it is so busy in December in particular, but other times of the year. But December, I think, can be often worse because no matter what your thoughts are on Christmas, like I love Christmas, but there's always some kind of like feeling coming up in the back where we feel just some kind of negative, like sadness or whatever, like we're missing a loved one or we're overwhelmed or we're feeling guilty about something. So I really think that it is so important to recognize that this is a busy season and you only have so many Christmases in your life, and that you are going to need to be careful with your time and your energy. So you may be invited to like several Christmas events. You may be invited to, work events, things with your friends. Things for your kids, all sorts of things, but you need to be careful what you say yes to. So, for example, if you were invited to a bunch of things, like say for me in the past before COVID, my friends and I, we would do like a little gift exchange and get together. And we probably, I'm assuming, would do it next year. I, of course, am like the ringleader for all of us getting together. But when we do get together and we do a gift exchange and we have fun, and we normally we go out to restaurants if like about 6 times a year, but at Christmas we go to this one girl's house and we share things, and we end up doing like our gift exchange, and so that to me is very, very precious and very important. I love doing that. And say I had that and I had work Christmas parties and kids things. I tell you what, those work Christmas parties would probably be the first to go. As much as it is fun to hang out with like your workmates outside of work and stuff, but still you see them a lot of the time, and it's so important to just really preserve your energy. Even if you want to go to a lot of things, you have to recognize if you are really busy, you need to have some downtime. And for me in particular, like I am an introvert. It's probably hard to tell when I'm doing things like this, but my energy comes from downtime. It comes from time being by myself or just being with my husband and my kids, but even like better if I'm just by myself, honestly. But then I get my energy back. Extroverts, they get their energy from being around people, but even they should be spending time, quiet time in December just to keep their energy up. Even if they get lots of energy from being around people, I still think it's important to have time to yourself just so that you can appreciate the holiday. Like if you're a person of faith, appreciate why we celebrate Christmas. So for me, I really think it's so important just to plan for that downtime. So let me know in the comments what kind of downtime you will plan or that you like to do. For us, for example, I mean, I don't have my Christmas planner in here, but I have my list of Christmas movies that I want to watch and shows. And as much as I love Christmas, I only have like probably watched like 2 so far this year because I really don't want to get too into it until actually December. I like to get the work out of the way in November and October. I like to get like sort of my plans for gifts, most of the gifts bought, some of the baking done. I like to get like of course the decorating. So our house has been decorated far too long. I honestly won't decorate that early next year, but I did want to make a couple of videos on it. So, but now that it's December, I'm like, okay, now it's Christmas. Like now I will be like, all right, we are going to be watching some Christmas shows. I will admit though, I have been watching a lot of like Christmas YouTube because I talk about her all the time. And I talked about her last week is, um, Garden Answer. I love her Christmas stuff, but even she said, like this year, she's got a 1-year-old, and I think her other kid is like 3 or 4, and so she didn't, she doesn't want to go overboard, so she is just not doing as many. But I do recommend you check out Garden Answer and just look at all of her amazing Christmas stuff. It's not all garden; it's like a lot of it's inside, but. Chelsea says, I have been reminded how much I love to bake just because instead of because I have to. So there definitely will be some of that. And that is just it. Like if you get some of these things out of the way, you can be like, I feel like baking, right? Like for me, I made vanilla krantz cookies and I made some sausage rolls and I made anything else? There are other things I'm going to make. And the thing is, like, I make sure I have my ingredients, although we are running out of sugar, so we got to get that. But I make sure that we have our ingredients. And so then when I'm like, I want to bake, I can just be like, I'm baking now, right? So I love that. And you know what? Thank you, Renee. Renee says you so appreciate the early Christmas videos. That's good. And to be honest, like I feel like it helps a lot of people get like in the spirit and get their little tushes in gear. And Stella says, I completely relate to being an outgoing introvert. Yes, that's me. I need time to recharge. It takes a lot out of me to be around people because I care and invest a lot into your people. That's just it, right? Like when I'm at work, like people would be like, you're an introvert because I'm like, blah, 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 blah. But then on my break, I'm like sitting, I've got like my earbuds in and I'm just like looking at my phone because I'm like, I need this like one little hour or half hour, however long my break is, to myself, right? So yes, being an introvert is funny. I think most people are introverts, to be honest with you. I don't know. Or at least you hear more introverts talking about it. Yeah, so I think that I really encourage you guys, make sure that you plan for some downtime because you will be so grateful that you did. And that will help bring so much peace to your Christmas because you will be able to appreciate it and you can sit and enjoy your decor if you go into your bedroom. Like I even put like a little lit up Christmas tree in my bedroom. If you haven't seen my tour video, look that up. But I put that in there and I go in there and I just like read, or I usually have my thinking time where I'm just sort of not doing anything. I'm just sort of laying there. But I'm like looking at that little tree and I'm like, this is really nice. You know? So Tracy says, you love that I started the Christmas videos early. Good. You found it helpful. Good. Well, that makes me happy. Okay. Well, that encourages me to do that again next year. And Edith says, after the tree is done and all lit, I love to have a glass of wine with my husband and watch. It's a wonderful life tradition, calming evening for us. That's just it. And my husband and I, we do that too. It's kind of different, right? Like our kids are teenagers. Our youngest is 12, so he's not quite a teenager, but they're around a lot. Sometimes I'm like, let's not talk about World War II to my youngest. Can we just not? So, I mean, I love them. I'm not wishing that they would grow up any faster. My cat just came in here. I had closed the door because my husband is sick. My son is sick, and they have to leave for a COVID test, and my husband doesn't even know it. So I said to my son, make sure you go wake dad up. Now, let's see. Is that Saskatchewan Creation Crafts? I feel stressed about not putting out all decorations, even if I just don't feel like putting out certain items. I don't want to get rid of them. And you know what? That's cool too. Like for me, some years I'd be like, oh, I don't want. There's one thing where I love it, but I didn't put it out this year. And I got it out and it was sort of just like sitting around. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to put that out. I just put it back. But I thought I'll use it. I'm just not this year. I might sort of like switch it out to this other thing next year. But pretty much everything else I own for Christmas is out. But yeah, I think that's fair. Like sometimes you don't feel like decorating. That's totally cool. I don't know if you can see there's Crumpet's tail way in the corner that way. Yes, right there. Oh, now what's he doing? Yeah, so, and Kelsey says she knows all about World War II as well because of kids. Yeah, my youngest, he is so into all of that stuff, which is good. I mean, okay. Yeah, so, but anyway, yeah, I encourage you and put it in your calendar, days that you're going to take to yourself and really deciding what events you actually want to take part in because sometimes you are just not going to want to take part in things. And I encourage you to skip some things and enjoy the JOMO, the joy of missing out. Oh, that's good. Loretta says she took my advice and took some Christmas decor to the Goodwill store. I'm just going to yell at my son. Hold on. Can I mute myself? Yes, I can. He's making his dad's coffee. Go wake him up. All righty. So, and then another thing I wanted to talk about was the video I put out on Friday where I talked about like gift giving mistakes. And I had like a lot of people commenting on that. And they were like, yeah, like with kids and stuff where my husband and I, we kind of came from different camps where when I was growing up, I watched my parents spend too much money and they didn't have a lot at Christmas. And even then, like we got a lot of stuff, but not near what a lot of kids these days get. So we definitely come from different times because my husband, he grew up with a single mom. She did her very best. She's a wonderful lady. I absolutely love my mother-in-law, but she, you know, he got like one present, maybe two presents. And so for him, when we had kids and he could honestly just be like, hey, we have money. I'm going to like totally get my kids stuff because I can. Like I completely understand that. And that's what we did for the first few years. When our oldest was 2, I remember my husband saying, I feel bad we didn't get him enough. And I was like, oh, really? Like, and I was like, now looking back, I'm like, he was 2. Like a 2-year-old doesn't know anything. You give them like a truck. They would probably appreciate that more because then they have like they can focus on that, And so I really, if there are any people with little kids in this watching this, I recommend starting them out with less stuff earlier on, and I think they will appreciate it more because a lot of us just go way overboard. And I mean, for good, it's like well intentioned, but then you have to deal with the fallout of having all of this stuff. And I remember like just always decluttering the kids' toys, and there were just pieces everywhere. And oh my gosh, like now my kids don't really play with toys, which is kind of nice, I'll be honest with you. And yeah, actually, if you get into like the love languages, if anybody here knows their 5 love languages, if you do, let me know what your love language is. I honestly, my husband's is gift giving and gift receiving. And so it's funny because a lot of people like their gift giving. So with him, like I have to hold him back because, and I don't know if part of why his love language is gift giving is because he didn't grow up with a lot of things. It probably is, right? And that probably is why mine isn't. So I do appreciate when somebody gives me something. I prefer when somebody is like, I think my love language is maybe physical touch, but also like acts of service. Like I just like somebody being like, I did this for you. I think that's so nice. But yeah, so I think for people who their love language is gift giving, they're the ones you have to hold back, but you can give them something small. And if it's thoughtful, that will go really far. Like even with my husband, if I go out and I bring him back a coffee, he is just like, oh, thank you. Like it just makes him so happy because it just like shows him that I love him. So I think it's really nice. And Allison says, you've gone overboard when your kids say, do I have to keep opening presents? She just wanted to play with what she already had. Definitely scaling back this year. That's just it. And it's funny because with our kids, like they had a lot of things. And my husband, he just wanted to give them lots of presents. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And so the last few years, even he was like, oh, I kind of get it. Like, and so we ended up, Tracy says quality time. But we ended up just sort of getting them a little bit less, and now even he is like, I get it. And my kids, honestly, they don't even get I don't even think they care. They don't even notice. So you can correct this problem for sure. Kelsey, words of affirmation and physical touch. That's nice. Quality time, and second is verbal. Yeah, I in some ways I'm like all of them. Most of them. Definitely gift giving is last. My middle son, he for sure is gift giving. I got him a blanket once, and it was like um, I just got him this like patchwork blanket, and it had his name Ben on it, just because it was like Ben 10, which is a show, and he loved it. And it was just, and then we got one made for the other two. Their love languages and gift giving, so they're like, oh yeah. Meanwhile, Ben loved that blanket. And Susie, you're a feeder. You have to feed everybody. So do you think your love language is gift giving? Because I like to feed people too. Actually, for me, it's a tough one actually, because for me, I love cooking for my husband, and I want him to like what I cook. I don't really care if the kids do because kids are so fickle, right? But with my husband, I'm always like, here you go. Do you like it? If he doesn't, it's fine. But I like to give them all a good meal. But Barbara, that makes me think of the time years ago when my son stood in all of the chaos of open presents and said, is that all? Yeah. That's just it, right? Like you can't keep them all happy, but then he will go and play. I love the 4 presents rule. Yes, something you want, need, wear, and read. I love it. That's what we're doing this year. Yeah. Actually, less than that, even. Mostly read, wear, and money. Honestly, with teenagers, why not? What a reality check. Kids are always so good for that. Yeah, for sure. Sometimes too good. And Maria, your love languages are quality time and acts of service. We have a daughter with the gifts language. I just got to check on my son and my husband. Hold on. Oh, hello, Debbie. Welcome. And so, El Hogar de Eli, my aha moment was when they opened like 40 gifts at the end and said, "That's it." Yeah. And Linda, my love language is words of praise and affirmation. Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah, I honestly, I don't even know. Yeah, so I think that it does help to know, especially at Christmas, what somebody's love language is. Um, I guess I'm like pretty easy to keep happy because I'm most of them. But yeah, I honestly just think, hey, um, get them what will make them happy, but at the same time, without causing a lot of clutter, unless it's something, like that's why like I like the want, something they want, even if it's gonna cause clutter, they get one of it, right? Versus the problem can't be like grandparents and things like that. Oh, they really can. Let me see. Am I behind here? Here we go. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because when you have an ADHD 16-year-old making his dad coffee so he can wake him up to tell him to go for his COVID test, it's just like, ugh. And coughing up a storm. And you can hear when someone's not covering their mouth when they're coughing, right? Okay, so everybody, tell me, what kind of gifts are you thinking of giving? This year, we're giving my mom an armoire. We gave it to her because it was ours, not an armoire, like a hutch and a sideboard. And so I wanted to declutter it because I felt like it just added too much to the space. And I am glad it's gone, but in a way, I'm like, I feel like we still need some kind of piece of furniture there. But for now, it's not there. I'm really happy. So I said to her, this is your birthday and your Christmas present. And she really likes getting presents. I think her love language is gift giving. And she tends to have a lot of clutter too, but I just can't participate in that. So that is what I've given her. And then my dad, we usually just send him like a gift card or something. And I don't know what I'm giving my husband. Something not a lot. Susie, when asked what I want, I always say multi-purpose compost. It's inexpensive and I'm a gardener and always need it. People tell me they can't give soil. You know what? I think I mentioned this before. One of my colleagues, her and her husband gifted each other some sea soil. So that made them both really happy. And Carrie, she made, oh, this is great. Beeswax wraps for your family. That's awesome. I think that's a really, really good gift. Yeah, I love those for keeping veggies and things fresh. Doing lots of handmade gifts this idea, Tracy says. Feeling good about it, and you're wrapping gifts as you watch this. Well, that's fun. Actually, somebody was saying that they were really stressed. This was in our Simplified group about how to, or like that she gets stressed with all of the gift wrapping. And because she goes overboard, kind of wanting to do make it really nice and matchy matchy. So my advice to that would be if you want to do that, good. But you know me, I like to just sort of spread it out. So I do like one every day or two. Barbara doesn't really give gifts at a specific time. You bought your grandson new tires to keep him safe. See, that's really nice, right? I love that. And Barbara does a gift exchange in her book group, and you just found a book themed jigsaw puzzle. Perfect. That's so perfect. I love it. Kirsten Greenlease. We have a nightly tradition of lighting candles, singing, reading Christmas stories, and doing advent calendars. Makes each night so magical for me. It's the only thing I really want each Christmas. That's really nice. I like that. We actually have an advent book, and we open it and read just a little bit of the advent story. So that's really nice. And Karen, we are having Secret Santa. There are 11 of us, and we will only have to buy one person. We are not allowed to buy for anyone else in the group. I love Secret Santa. We actually, in my family, especially when there were like a lot of nieces and nephews, that's what we did when on my mom's side. And then on my husband's family, we did that too when the kids were little. And now nobody really buys for them because most of them are grown up, and that's good. We're happy with that. If I see like my sister-in-law, if I will see them, I will just have like a box of chocolates. I usually have like a few boxes of chocolates ready to go for people. And I'm like, here you go. And Tracy says, spread the wrapping out. Today is wrapping the things that need to be mailed across the country. Yes, and shipping is quite a nightmare right now. So that's a good idea. Susie is giving doormats. You make them out of rope, cool, and bird feeders out of old bottles. You also make a tablet for everyone delivers post, parcels, etc. That's a good idea. Make tablet, that is. Yes, and tablet. My goodness, my mother-in-law, she gave me some of that once. That is sweet. Good, but sweet. And Linda says her kids are all grown in college and high school, and they will get Alexa Echo. The others ask for money, and your Secret Santa will get a nice journal. That's great. I love that. But yeah, I really do love the Secret Santa, and that's what, well, we do what is that game? Yeah, Secret Santa's fun, and then, oh gosh, I can't remember. What is the game where people steal things? That is a fun game. That's the one where my friends and I did that one. It's really fun. Kelsey says 3 of the kids are getting beanbag chairs. The other already has one, and that means I have to sew them. I'm thankful for your YouTube tutorials on setting zippers. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that would be something. Beanbag chairs are great. We have actually some really big ones in our basement. And Debbie says, my mom is getting a bobbin holder and small handbag, which will be wrapped in 2 meters of cotton as she sews and quilts. That's nice. For hubby, it's cotton or clothing to replace stuff that is falling to bits. And I already have my big gift from my hubby as well. What does this say? It was a winter coat. That's really nice. Dirty Santa is one name for the game. Yes. What was I going to say? Yeah, I just like, to me, useful presents are the best. Like if somebody gives me something that is useful, I'm like, thank you. Like that is exactly what I need. If it is like, if somebody was like, here, if they knew the kind of underwear I wanted, they were like, here's some underwear. I'd be like, thanks. I love useful things. To me, they're the best gifts of all. And it's actually a little bit sunny here. I can't believe it. I think I might actually go and get the supplies for my wreath today if I can get my husband to come. He's still kind of under the weather, so he might not feel like it. I'll definitely have to wait for him to have some coffee first. He just dragged himself out of bed. Yeah, so I am super, super excited about just getting like those few things done. And I was saying to my group that I really recommend that they plan, like decide what are real priorities to get done at Christmas, because a lot of us, we have like so many things that we want to get done. We have so many things that we want to bake or we want to watch or just lots. But that's why it's so important to prioritize and know what the real priorities are. And then if you get the other things done, great. But at the very least, at the end, you can say, hey, I got my priority done. Oh, and Barbara, you love your David's Tea calendar so much. It's useful. And when it's gone, it's finished. Yeah, I love it too. I didn't actually get one this year. I was going to, but I have had it in the past. So this year I'm just doing chocolate for myself. My husband and I, we have an old David's Tea calendar actually, and we fill it with like 2 Lindors for each of us. So we each have a chocolate and the kids have their chocolate. It's super fun. But yes, I love the David's Tea calendar. And when the calendar is done, we can actually donate that and then others can use it, which I think is really fun. They would like that too. Your mom always gives useful gifts that you really need. That's nice. One year it was a garden shed. This year it's going to be duvet and pillows. That's super nice. I love that. Like I just love, 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 love useful things. I think most people do. Even kids. That's why I think that the something they want, wear, need, read, all of that is so good, because you're showing them that reading is a gift. clothing is a gift and something that they need is a gift in addition to something they want. It seems to really set them up for like real, um, like I think like gratitude almost in a way, just because you're like, yes, like I can really use this, which is so nice. And Barbara says, prioritize and eliminate things at the bottom when time runs out. Exactly. So if you don't like even I know I talk about this all the time, but even like with my Christmas shows, if I'm like, well, I didn't get to watch like what's one? I really like Yogi's First Christmas. I know it sounds hilarious, but I actually watched that when I was probably like in my late teens in the basement of my grandparents' house. And I was like, this is a great show. But if I didn't watch it, it would be okay. It's kind of long, but I love it, and I love so many. But I honestly watch things like in importance, and I would probably watch National Lampoon's at least twice. So that we might even watch today. I love it so much. What's your favorite Christmas movie? And I've got my simplified Christmas Advent group. They were all telling me too. And by the way, if you haven't joined the Simplified Christmas Advent group, I encourage you to. Maybe I'll drop a link for that here because it is so fun. We are all sharing what we are working on and what we are doing, and it will be just like I'm just trying to help everybody get a little bit organized so we can all have like a peaceful Christmas. So my goal, and I actually made a prize at the end for the people that are most engaged so that people can have the most simplified Christmas ever. I hope. And you have donated the Empty David's Advent calendar. Yeah. Oh my gosh, they're so useful because it's like a little box. Like it's so perfect. Yeah, I love it. Love it, love it. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Because it's 9:36, so nice and early. We're all just enjoying our little conversation here. Um, my husband is now drinking his coffee before he takes our son for his COVID test in half an hour, so that's good. Just had to make sure he wasn't eating because he's going to have the gargle test. Oh my goodness. Won't we all be glad when this is all over? Oh, hello, Frida from the Netherlands. Netherlands. What's some great tradition that you do up there, Frida? I'd love to know. I'm just like obsessed with Scandinavian countries. Kelsey, here's one. How practical is too practical when it comes to a kid's gifts? I think basically if you're like, they will be mad that I gave this as a gift, I think is probably, what was one I was thinking? We gave our son a backpack for his birthday, and I was kind of surprised. I didn't know if he'd like it, but we filled it with candy. So he was happy with that. But he was 16, right? So he's a good age to kind of appreciate that sort of thing. But oof, that's a tough one. How practical is too practical? Is there anything you're thinking of giving? And I will tell you what I think. I do agree. The Netherlands is great. And Cheyenne says, my son and daughter are adults. My grands are 12, 11, and 1. Oh, I'm giving money to the grands and baked goods to the children and siblings. That sounds perfect. Perfect. I love food. Socks and underwear. Yeah, Alma, I would say, like for us, stockings, socks and underwear and the stockings mostly has filler, and the kids are kind of used to that. But yeah, I would definitely say that that would probably be maybe not something you'd want to wrap. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Oh, I know. I was actually thinking of something, and it was stuff for school. So if like your kid needed a school calculator, they probably would not dig that. I was thinking that even if they're like in high school, they would be like, no, I don't think so. Maria, you're giving a mushroom growing kit in a box to several people. Yeah, that is such a good idea. I actually bought some spores for my mushrooms. Unfortunately, the slugs ate them all, but I love it. Frida, you have Sinterklaas the 5th of December. That's fun, like Santa, but Dutch. So that is when we give our kids a gift. And with Christmas, I only do a Christmas stocking. That's nice with a little practical gift. That sounds really nice. And like a gift, right? Like, how nice is that? Yes. Well, hello, Hawk Strong. You're joining from Texas. Woohoo! Is it wrong to let our family know that we are going to focus on enjoying Christmas and we'll give gifts in January? I don't think it's wrong at all. And I think that the best thing, I've learned this. It took me like 40 years to learn that honesty is the best policy. And I don't mean I was like walking around lying before, but I would say that I was never really honest with like my feelings or intentions a lot of the time. So I would just be like, look, like I feel so stressed a lot of the time. And I feel like our kids are getting too materialistic. I'm just saying this for myself. And so I feel like we probably are just going to wait until January. And I know, like for my mother-in-law, for example, I love her to death, but her love language is gift giving too, right? So in the past, I've struggled because she would bring over like chocolates all the time, like full chocolate bars or several, and I'm like, oh my gosh, right? So I would say there's nothing wrong with that, but just be honest and explain. And whenever you're explaining something, especially if it's going to be hard, how you feel into it and say, I feel this. I think that is so helpful. Renee says, when my son was in second grade, I gave him underwear and socks, and he was a little miffed. There you go. For sure. And Linda says, your favorite movie, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Is that a Christmas movie? See, I don't even know that one. It's a Wonderful Life. I love it. White Christmas, yes. I have not taken the time to watch them in a few years, and this year it's on your list. See, that would be like something I put on my fun list. What am I going to get done this year? What do I want to do? What will be fun? Kelsey says, we often do camping, hiking, hunting gear. Yeah, or things for archery. One year, our eldest got a 60-liter backpack, for example, which is something that is only useful sometimes, not whenever he likes. Yep, I totally agree. And that's just it. That's why I like useful things. So, like when we gave our son the backpack full of candy, it was like, here's something super useful and also some junk food. So that's like the fun part of it, right? And you have a DVD of White Christmas. You watch it every year, Barbara. That's awesome. And your son asked for a calculator. There you go. There you go. I think for my oldest, he's obsessed with school. He's so choked that he can't go to school today. He has to wait for his negative COVID test, but he's so upset. And he actually probably would like a calculator, but my middle one, I don't think so. I don't think he would ever like a calculator. And Kelsey says her best friend from childhood was an adult. She and her sisters were a little miffed when their parents didn't give them stockings. Yeah, it's funny because my brother, like we grew up with stockings and they don't give stockings to each other. I think just for their kids. And he's like, that's a kid's thing. And I'm like, what? Like my grandparents still got a stocking. That was just what we did. So I don't know. I like having a stocking. I pretty much buy almost everything for my stocking. My mom puts like one or two things in it, and my husband, he struggles with that, and that's okay. But I like it. I like it. Frida, my grandmother gave us money to buy gifts for Sinterklaas. I bought them a little gift. I bought some craft stuff I will keep hidden and pull out in the holiday. And my grandmother was totally on board. That's super cool. I love it. I like the idea of filling it with junk food. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Um, this year, so I went stocking stuffer shopping last Saturday. My son works Saturday morning, so I just go over to London Drugs, which sounds like a funny place to get stuff for stocking, but I bought so much junk food. And it's pretty much almost all junk food. There might be like some lip gloss. I got lip gloss for my grandma and maybe it's like some nuts, a few things like that, but it's almost all junk food. And I thought, why didn't I just do this sooner? Like, why am I like, yes, I don't want them eating a bunch of junk food, but at the same time, I'm like, but why? Like it's Christmas, right? And Debbie says Christmas doesn't start in Scotland till the Iron Brew advert comes on, and hopefully it'll start running tonight. Okay, so I tried Iron Brew. Wow, that is not my favorite Scottish thing. It's just so sweet. And isn't like bubblegum flavored almost? So interesting. The classic worst gift ever. What is that? I missed it. Anyway, A Christmas Carol old version from 1951. I haven't seen that. I should watch that. And it's wonderful when Hanukkah falls after Christmas. Yeah, people take advantage of clearance sales for gift giving. So your January gift giving makes sense to me. Yeah, and you know it's funny because one of the girls I follow on Instagram, they were celebrating Hanukkah, or they are actually, and she said they never gave gifts, but now they do, and she's like super excited. It's pretty cute. Her husband gave her a Le Creuset Harry Potter pot. I love it. It is so cool. I was just like, I might ask for that. Do I need a pot? What size pots does this come in? Um, I love her. Her Instagram is frosting and fettuccine. She's really cute. Team stocking. Yeah. Woohoo. I love them. Christine loves stockings. Carrie says, my stocking is always empty, but my husband and kids are packed full. That's why this, you know what? I don't think I mentioned that this year. You have to buy for yourself. Actually, I have in my phone, I have a reminder to myself that it's okay to buy presents for myself. So that is exactly what I do. Here, I've got to yell at my husband and my son again. Oh, I can hear him coughing and not covering his mouth. That's just, to me, it's just gross. Yeah, and so Carrie, buy your own presents. And like, that's just what I do. I do. I buy all my own stockings. What I will do is I put them in a bag and I give them to my husband and I'm like, this is for my stocking and you can fill that up. And maybe you should look at it and get an idea of what you can put in it. My husband actually, usually he gets me, there's like a hemp hand cream from the body wash that I've literally used for over 20 years. He will usually buy me that. So that is really good. But I totally think buy yourself stuff for your stockings. Actually, the other thing my husband always gets me, which I love, is stuff from Purdy's Chocolates. I love Purdy's Chocolates, and he knows what I love. And he'll even get me like at Purdy's Chocolates in Canada here, you can just say what you want in a box. And so that's what he gets, which I think is really nice. He's going to get tested, and that's where I work, so I know the answers. I'm sorry, I'm like talking to my husband and my son. I never do that. Anybody who always comes here can tell you. I'm sorry, I'm so rude. And you enjoy watching It's a Wonderful Life, Linda, and the Christmas Carol from 1938. Oh my gosh, I need to do that. I love It's a Wonderful Life. And I didn't start watching it until the Christmas, which I think I talked about it last year, and I will be talking about it again this year. But it's when I kind of spent Christmas Eve by myself for the first time ever. And actually, it'll be on the 6th of December. I tell the full story, but that's the first time I watched it. So it's only been about 14 years, but I love it. And we watch it every year. And my husband was like, I don't want to watch that. And then he was like, I love it. And we're both like getting teary during certain parts. It's so fun. Oh my gosh. An Etsy gift certificate would make me happy too, Cheyenne. That's such a good idea. I love Etsy. Love Etsy. Colette loves Etsy too. Toiletries and candy. That's right. Perfect for the stocking. Perfect. And Kelsey says, I'll fight you on that one. Alistair Sim is the best. So yeah, I need to watch these episodes. They're leaving. The coughing cacophony can end. They're leaving. Oh. Oh, right. It's fun to buy an experience gift like a Christmas play or something. COVID has put a wrench into that. Yes. We are going to a pantomime. And I don't think they had it last year. Oh, no, it's not a pantomime because it's too interactive. There's something that I'm going to with my mother-in-law this year. She's always brought the kids, but this year I was like, I want to go. And so that'll be fun. And you use your Shoppers Point, which is a store in Canada here, on Black Friday and bought stocking stuffers. Yeah. Ooh, cool. I never even thought about that. I should have done that. You know, I always use my points at the superstore because it's the same. I do like one big shop at the superstore and I use all of my points for the year. So it's like a week of free Christmas or free groceries. So nice. And Maria says, I love stockings too, but when my in-laws moved nearby, my mother-in-law started doing one for everyone. So this year will be the first year I won't be doing them as part of the Christmas task. That is nice. That's the kind of mother-in-law I want to be. Does anybody else ever think about the kind of mother-in-law they want to be? That's what I want to be. I think about the kind of grandma I want to be and the mother-in-law I want to be. And Kelsey says, Carrie, I collect little things throughout the year to fill your own stocking. Yeah. Last year I ordered earrings for myself, like just sort of cheap ones off of Etsy. Hello from Wyoming. And Cheyenne, I love watching Mr. Magoo's. I haven't even seen that one, Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol. I got some tension here. Yeah, they're talking about that I haven't seen. Yep, you buy for yourself, Christine. That's right. And she buys hedgehogs. Yep, you have to. You have to buy for yourself, and then you won't be disappointed. And if you feel at all disappointed, don't be. Some people, a lot of men, not good at it. They struggle. My husband, he's got ADHD, so he's already struggling with, like day-to-day stuff. So I don't want to make him feel bad. And then he will feel bad because his love language is gift giving. And I'm like, seriously, like take me out for dinner. That'll make me happy. Yeah, Maria always buys her own stocking stuffers for sure. Alma loves Purdy's. Woohoo! It's Canadian chocolate all the way. Get well soon, son of Robin. Yeah, no doubt. And my husband too. This is dragging on. I think they have the flu. I managed to get the flu vaccine because I'm a nurse and I have not gotten sick. And everybody else did. So I think it's the flu. And my husband was like, my body hurts. And I was like, that sounds like the flu. So, but for some reason we all have to still get tested. So Christine, your Purdy's order arrived yesterday. Cool. I haven't ordered any, but we do live near a Purdy's. Although I do try to avoid them all. I hate them all. Actually, funny, like when I was younger, I loved going to the mall all the time. But now I'm like, I don't even like I don't ever like going. I kind of like maybe like once I'll go at Christmas because it is sort of like a Christmassy feel, especially if you go in the evening when it's not like too crazy. But oh gosh, I don't like them all. Finn. Okay. What are you saying there? Finally, there you go. Caught me live. Hello from Wisconsin. Hello. I love a at-home date night kits. Ooh, that's a good idea. My husband and I bought our home dancing lessons last year. That's cute. And Colette, whose birthday it is, don't forget, happy birthday, Colette. Her and my brother, they have deck dates, which is so cute. So and they're in Calgary, so they couldn't really do that now. But when it is summer, and Calgary can have some warm weather all year, really. But it can be quite cold. But they'll go on their back deck and they'll just like have a drink and they call it a deck date. I think that's super fun. Debbie says, my favorite Christmas movie is A Child's Christmas in Wales. That's nice. Kelsey went to a panto for the first time 2 years ago, just before COVID, and it was hilarious. Yeah, see, now I'm like, I want to go. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. For years, I would take my granddaughters to San Francisco Ballet to see the Nutcracker. I love going and seeing the Nutcracker. So there won't be a Nutcracker this year. I hope there is next year because I haven't been for like 2 or 3 years. I think I brought my mom last time. Maybe my mom and my mother-in-law, or maybe just my mom. It was really nice because I thought, why am I bringing my husband? I'd rather go alone. I'm cutting back on stockings. I'm not doing my grown boys that no longer live at home. Yeah, the first time I'm cutting back for sure. Whatever you guys want for sure. You just became a mother-in-law and you know what you don't want to be for sure, right? I pretty much want to be almost exactly like my mother-in-law, except for I don't have a cute Scottish accent. I think about the kind of grandma I want to be a lot. And the first grandchild is due in Christmas. Oh my God, that's so exciting. You always buy for yourself. No one else does, and I deserve it too. Or the littles ask why mom doesn't get anything. I know. You know what? I didn't tell this story this year, and I actually meant to. So one of the girls, so when my oldest was a baby, I went to this mom and baby group, and we would, it was literally my lifeline. When you have a baby and you are just so tired and you're just so always with the baby. And so I would go to this group and I loved it. And one of the girls there, she had a child like almost the exact same age as mine. And Christmas rolled around. So the babies were almost 6 months old. And she, on Christmas Day, like she had decorated, she, probably cooked. and she had given her husband a present. So they had like, this was their only child at the time. And he didn't give her anything. And so she just was like, she just packed away all the decorations, and that was that. And I just thought, oh, that is so sad. So buy yourself presents just as a backup. I've already got mine. They're on the way. I talk about the presents I want with my husband, but I might buy my stuff. I found out I'm a lot less disappointed when I buy my own gifts. Yeah, that I know my hubby and he will forget. Exactly. Like my husband. The problem with my husband too is like it will be my birthday and he'll be shopping on my birthday. And I'm like, I'd rather hang out with you than have you shopping, but he just can't. He has ADHD. He can't plan ahead. That's him. But and your son has a cold too. Negative test result. Yay! My son is so bummed that he can't go to school. So he's like mad at me. And I was like, listen, it's not my fault. I am not making up the rules. I'm not saying he shouldn't stay home, but I'm just like, I don't want to hear it. Don't give me any attitude. You've been wanting to watch The Man Who Invented Christmas about Dickens. Interesting. I love the Christmas Carol version, the Muppets one, and what's the other one? Is that the one? The only one I like? I like the Mickey one. It's really short, but it's a fun one too. And yeah, there you go, the Muppet Christmas Carol. But also, I love the Muppet Family Christmas. People always say the Muppet Christmas Carol, but what about the Muppet Family Christmas? I love the Muppet Family Christmas. I love it even more. Yeah, you know what, Allison? Good idea to gift emergency kits to your family. My goodness. Actually, 3 or 4 years ago now, our power went out here on the 22nd of December or the 21st. Right, like it was the kids' last day of school. And I remember I had a chiropractor appointment and I was driving home at like 9:30 in the morning and there were like branches on the road. So it's really windy here in on Vancouver Island. And but when there's a storm, it gets even windier. And when you see branches on the ground, you know it's been like especially windy. And so I'm driving home and I'm like, oh, but it didn't seem windy. And I didn't really think much of it because this is the season where it's like windy and the weather can kick up a bit. So my husband and I, we were watching Survivor. We had it recorded and he had to go to work. He had to leave at like 1. And so we're watching Survivor. And then I get a text from the school around like 12:30 saying, come and get the kids because of the weather. And I'm like, the weather? And I look out and I'm like, what's wrong with the weather? So I'm like, said to my husband, well, we're supposed to get the kids. So I thought, I'm gonna finish my episode here and then I'll go get them because especially there's going to be chaos at the school. So I go to get the kids. First of all, my husband left for work about 15 minutes before I left. I go to get the kids. I'm driving down this road to get to our kids' school, like not far from, we only live like 10 minutes from our kids' school. I'm driving down this road. We're on the side of a mountain and there's a tree, like a big tree across the road. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I go the only other route out of our neighborhood. And as I'm driving, I can see a tree falling across the road, like way ahead of me. And I'm like, well, now I can't get out of the neighborhood to pick up the kids. I turn around literally where I was just driving, not 30 seconds before another tree had fallen. And I was lucky enough that the neighbor where where the tree had fallen had a U driveway. So I was actually able to go through their driveway to get around this tree. So I go home and I call my husband and I'm like, well, I can't get the kids because a tree has fallen. And he's like, what? And he goes, it's actually kind of windy. And I'm like, yeah. So he goes, he managed to pick them up and then he had to walk them up to our house. Well, and then the power went out and it was out here at our house for 3 days. And there were other people like Kelsey and everybody else from the lower mainland will remember this, but it was out in some spots for like 9 days over Christmas. We were lucky that it came on Christmas Eve or the 23rd, something like that. It was 3 days. It was so cold in our house. That's actually what made us put a fireplace in because we didn't have a secondary heat source. So our house got down to 9 degrees, which is kind of cold Celsius, but still way too cold to be your house. So anyway, That is the story. Oh, so emergency kit. So we had an earthquake kit. So I get it out. Well, of course, there's like a bunch of like expired granola bars and stuff. And I'm like, oh, like, okay, so there's a flashlight and we got like some batteries. And so I was like, okay, like now I know we need to review our emergency kit. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And there's a deer out the window. And Tracy says, happy birthday to Colette. And Barbara is going to look for A Child's Christmas in Wales. Yeah, I want to look at that too. I want to look at that too. Kelsey says, probably not a bad idea of the emergency kits because it's been quite the weather year for us in BC. Tracy, first year as a grandma at Christmas. That's so special. And Frida says she has to go because it's her kid's bedtime. Good night, Frida. Put those kids to bed. Take care. All right. Let me see. I'm going to catch up on these. I wish I could do a Christmas open house. I love creating delicious veggie trays and fruit treats, having a variety. So can you not because of COVID? We are going to do, unless the rules change, I'm going to have my family over on the 22nd. Yeah. Last year we watched Joke Band Christmas. I don't know that one. That's very cool. Yes, the Muppet Christmas Carol. Yeah, talk about a close call. That was insane. It was the craziest story. Yeah, you remember that story. Your in-laws in Whiskey Creek were out of, it was crazy. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to go. It's been an hour. My jaw is always sore after because I got jaw trouble. Well, you guys, I will see you next week. If you aren't in the Christmas Advent Challenge and you want to join, click the link. I will put it, I put it up in the chat, but I'll also put it like in the comments of the description of the video. And I will see you guys next week.